Welcome to the Manhood Podcast. I'm your host, Bob Mann, provider, protector, procreator, promise keeper. We want to be good fathers, great fathers if at all possible, but we always want to be present in our fathers' lives. Today I have a very special guest with you, my favorite sister.
Only sister.
Yeah, well, she's my only sister, so she can be my favorite. I told her, there's three of us, 2 boys and a girl. I can have a favorite sister and a favorite brother. My brother can have a favorite sister and a favorite brother, but she can't have a favorite brother, okay?
That's what you think. No.
Well, we won't tell Vinny, okay? And today we're going to talk about someone very special to us, our own father. Our father's an amazing man. I'm going to have him on as well, so I won't talk a whole lot about him, but he gave all of us an amazing start, did an amazing job raising us. And I think it's important when we talk about a good dad versus a bad dad, that the kids are the ones who actually determine whether you're good or bad. So we're going to talk a bit about my dad today. So let me introduce you to my wonderful favorite sister, Melissa Lowery. So tell us, do you have a good dad and why?
Oh, I have a great dad. Why? So many reasons why. He's a patient. He's a quiet man, but he's a loving man, and he shows it through his actions.
Yeah, yeah. Was he very affectionate with you? Hugs, kisses.
I remember younger, yes. I used to always sit on his lap.
Okay.
So I consider myself a daddy's girl.
Yeah. Wow.
Of course. So yes, I do remember younger days. He was affectionate. I would sit on his lap. So yes.
Well, and you are the baby. So he was older when he had you, right? And then you are a girl. I don't remember really hugging and being affectionate with Dad until I was an adult.
Oh, okay.
You know, after I graduated from college. Not to say that he wasn't there, not to say that he wasn't loving, but I don't
Not
recall, that. And it's a different time. It's a different era in life. Now, you have something on your knee that reminds you of Dad?
Yes. Well, I remember growing up before Dad started going to church. Every Sunday he would take me to Tiny Tots. So he would pick us up from Sunday school, take me to Tiny Tots to get a toy. So every Sunday was like Daddy and I day.
Yeah.
So I would go outside and I'm playing.
Wait, where was I?
I don't know. It was just about Dad and I, not you. I don't know. I don't know where you and Vinny were.
All right, I don't remember going to Tiny Tots every Sunday, but go ahead.
Every Sunday. Y'all were probably playing baseball or something. But anyway.
All right, we have to ask him about that.
So every Sunday, he'd take me to get a toy, but that was our day. So I was outside riding my bicycle, and I fell and I hurt my knee.
Okay.
And he mended me up. He cleaned it up. He put a bandage on it, and I still have that scar to this day.
Oh.
Now, maybe if Mom mended, I may not have a scar. But since Dad did, I have a scar. But that's something I always remember.
What you trying to say?
I don't know. Moms have that special touch. But I'll never forget. He cleaned me up. He put a bandage on, and I have that scar to this day. Yeah. And it's just a loving memory.
A loving memory and reminder of him.
Yes.
And I'm going to ask him about that. I bet you he does not remember that.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Probably does not remember that at all. Was he affirming and supportive?
Oh, yes. Very, very supportive, very affirming. I guess growing up, Dad worked a whole lot. He worked all the time. But one thing we always knew he was there.
Right.
Like when you needed him, he's always there. So he instilled that self-worth in me. Always made me feel special.
Yeah.
And I always knew not to take junk from people. Because my daddy treated me good. So I'm not gonna settle for anything less.
Yeah. And that's important. I recorded your niece, my daughter, yesterday, and she said something similar that she learned from me, that she doesn't take any junk from anybody because she learned that from me, and I learned it from Senior.
Exactly.
And you got that from him as well. Anything else you want to add to that? What makes him a good dad?
A good dad. I guess one other thing he instilled in me is my work ethic. I guess in all of us, really. So he, like I said before, he worked a lot, and he wasn't always at dance recitals and different events, but he worked a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't think I really appreciated it until I got older. And I don't know me. I have 2 kids in college. I got to take out student loans. But he paid for all of our colleges. We have no student loans.
No student loans.
So it takes time. I guess as you get an adult, you really appreciate that work ethic.
Yeah.
And also, I asked him, I always asked him, I said, Dad, is there ever a day that, you just want to take off and stay home? Because I don't remember him ever taking time off.
No.
Monday through Saturday, he's working. Sunday was probably his only day off. And then Sunday, he's probably doing stuff around the house.
Yeah.
So he instilled in me that work ethic. And
would you say he was a workaholic?
Yes.
Would you say you are a workaholic?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. He'll call me to this day and say, Melissa, you need to slow down. You're doing too much.
The pot called the kettle black.
Exactly. Where do you think I got it from?
I'm doing what I learned. Listen, my sister is a very hardworking woman. I think I explained before, my father has his own business. He started it some 60 years ago doing heating and air conditioning in Central Jersey. Very, very successful business. My brother and my sister run it. And Melissa also has a gym, an F45 gym that she runs as well. So she is running 2 businesses, 2 kids in college, a full household and everything else. And she's superwoman. I'm always very, very impressed with her and the things that she does. And she just does it with such grace. I can't recall hearing you complain and crying about the work you have to do. You just seem to do it. I know I've been at your house on a Sunday afternoon, and you got the laptop open and taking care of business.
Work. But you the same way. All of us the same way. You just get it done. It's got to get done.
That's it. That's the way we were raised, and we got that, from Dad. And Mom is the same way. She, I live with my parents now. And I will cook, and after I cook, I like to rub my belly for a little while before I wash dishes. If I take too long, if I rub my belly too many times, I can rub it 9 times and I can get to the dishes before. But if I rub it 9.5 or 10 times, she has already washed the dishes. So
it'll be done.
they'll be done. And I'm like, Mom, just sit down. I got this. I got it. So both our parents are, and they work so very, very well together. Now, if you had to pinpoint something that Dad did as a father that you didn't like or you thought was bad, what would it be?
Something I didn't like. I guess growing up, he was very strict.
Yeah.
So if I wanted money, I'd go to my dad. But if I wanted to go out, I went to Mom.
Yeah. So
he was very strict. He didn't want me to go out a lot.
Yeah.
I would have to be in before all my friends had to be in. So I do remember a time when it was right before I was getting ready to go away to college, 18 years old. And it was the summer, and we were hanging out, and I wanted to go out. And my dad was like, no, for no reason.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything. No reason. Just no, you don't need to go out. Yeah. So I remember saying under my breath, I was like, I can't wait to get out of here. And I know he heard me. And to this day, it hurt me that I said that.
Yeah.
Because, being older now and having kids, I understand. Just sometimes you don't need to go out all the time.
Right. Are you strict with your kids?
I am.
Yeah.
I am. Not as strict as Dad was, but I am. I am.
It's dads with their daughters are very different. You get to be very protective, and once they're out of your sight, you just don't know what could happen. So you want to kind of keep them as close as you can for as long as you can. Do you remember a time, I think it was New Year's Eve, and you wanted to go out, and I wanted you to babysit for me and Lisa? And you was like, no, I'm going out, da 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 da. And I was like, well, I'm telling Dad.
Well, you didn't know. Lisa told Dad one time. I was too through with her. And just to watch your kids.
But so it seems there's a theme here that you like to go out.
Oh gosh, please. Don't we all?
Yeah,
Don't we all at that age?
So, do you? I mean, did any good come out of it? You appreciate that now?
Oh yeah. I definitely see now that I didn't need to be out all the time.
Yeah.
I didn't need to be out all the time. So I definitely appreciate it, and I definitely understand it. You do have to have that balance also. You know, I'll let my kids, go out because they need to grow up. They need to have experiences.
Yeah.
But again, they don't need to be out all the time.
Right. Right. They don't need to be out in the streets.
I appreciate it now.
Yeah, in the streets all the time. Now, what other skills? I talk about, provider, protector. We see Dad was definitely a provider, definitely a protector, procreator, reproducing himself in you. What skills, what talents, what things that he does that you now do?
What things do I now do?
Yeah.
I guess also in Craig and I opening our own franchise, our own gym. So just seeing how he negotiates, how he interacts with different people, with bankers, with customers, and not taking no for an answer all the time. There's always some kind of way around it.
Right.
Really negotiating. So that's what I definitely learned from Dad, is his business sense.
Yeah.
Definitely his business sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any idea where he got that from? Our dad grew up very poor in the South. Did not have, I remember as a child, I don't know how old I was, but I remember going to the house. There was no running water. We had to carry water in a bucket up to the house, and it was a good football field length that you had to carry this bucket of water. Had to go to the bathroom in an outhouse. All right, and then he came to New Jersey. He started a business, and is able to sit with bankers and doctors and lawyers and engineers and holds his own very confidently. He's an extremely smart man, very, very smart man, and I often ask, where does he get this ability to do the things that he does? I know in just listening to some of the stories, my grandmother was a savvy businesswoman as well. And as far as project management, just washing clothes my grandmother gave birth to 16 children. One was a stillbirth, so she raised 15 kids. So laundry day was a major project that needed to be tackled. And she would have the girls, take shifts, staying home once a week, and they would all wash. Now, there was no washing machine per se. There was no dryer. They used a washboard. They hung the clothes out on a line. So it was a lot of manual labor to wash clothes for 15 kids. All right. And I believe Dad and his siblings learned project management from her and actually participating in that and seeing that. But I still don't understand where he got that from. So I'm going to ask him that when I get him on camera. Where did he learn the business savvy? Because he is a resource for not just his business, but other businesses, other business people. There are several churches that call on him for advice and direction when they're making decisions, financial, legal, policy-wise and everything. They call on him all the time. And I know with my kids, I see them doing things in different places that I don't know where they got that talent and skill from. All I can say is they saw it in myself and they saw it in their grandfather, and now they're doing it. Do you see any of that in your kids and the things that they do?
And what they do.
Yeah, because I know Nia and Noel just they were just elected to some offices there in Hampton.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So they're in American Marketing Association, different programs, student leader programs. But yeah, I do believe that I never really thought about it that way, but I guess that is passed on.
Yeah.
Just your business sense, your just the way you communicate with people.
Yeah.
But going back to Dad on, I'm sure you're going to ask him, like you said, but where he got it from, I guess with Grandma really raising all the kids, 14 kids, 15 kids by herself in a house, just managing the household, really.
Yeah.
Because all the siblings are doing well,
Yeah.
have done well. Also, I think Dad's an observer also. Like, he's not a talker. He observes. He takes everything in. So I think he'll say also he learned it from other people.
Yeah.
Like, different people that he's met.
Yeah.
And he'll ask questions.
Yeah. The deep thinker. Would you say that Dad's an introvert or an extrovert?
I think he's an introvert.
Yeah. Yeah. He has his moments when, and we're all different places on that scale of introvert to extrovert, where he is very talkative and in the moment and everything, very social in social gatherings. But then when he has his time alone, he's deep in thought, contemplating things, researching things. And I know I do that. You do that, and I think, in our pre-production, you talked about feeling like you didn't have to repeat yourself. Okay. And that's my father to a T.
You say what you mean and you mean what you say. You don't have to repeat it.
And my mother says I should have been a lawyer because I'm always pleading my case. Don't make no faces over there. I'm always pleading my case. So my mother would listen and go back and forth with me. My dad, even to this day, I'm 60 years old. He'd be like, just shut up.
He don't want to hear it. He don't want to hear it.
It's like, this is the way it is. This is the way it's going to be. And keep it moving. I see that in you. Because you are...
I don't feel the need to say a lot.
No. And listen, beautiful lady. People look at her and, she's petite and everything and say how sweet she is. Like, you don't know. She grew up with two brothers. She can hold her own. I tell them every day, do not cross this woman, okay? Do not. She ain't going to cuss you out and everything else, but you will know that you've been told off. Okay?
I'll get you back. I'm spiteful. I'll get you back. I don't forget.
I don't know if Dad is spiteful. I don't think.
No.
At least with us, he's never been spiteful.
No, not at all.
Very generous, always giving. If you ask people from the outside looking in, we were all spoiled, but we all had to work
for it.
For whatever we were doing, whatever was going on around the house. I remember cutting lawns. Vinny and I would cut grass. Vinny would hold the bag. I would cut the grass. And the neighbor next door wanted me to cut their lawn. But Dad said I had to cut our lawn first for free.
Before you cut theirs.
Before I cut the neighbor's yard and made some money. And sometimes by the time I got to the neighbor's yard, my younger brother, he was ready to go do something else. And
you were on your own.
Yeah, so we had to figure out, all right, we're going to do both lawns at the same time. We're going to do one lawn today, one lawn tomorrow, just to make sure that he was interested. But Dad kept us always active and involved and working. And like you said, he worked all the time. So he wasn't at every activity, that we had. Thank God for Mom. Mom was always there at every activity, driving us to every act. I don't know how she did it, with the three of us when we were all active and stuff. But you find a way. And then she was active in the church as well. So probably when you scraped your knee on that Sunday,
she was at
church. She was at church.
Yep, she was at
church. I'm saying, well, where was Mom if you scraped your knee?
She was at church.
She was at church. Okay. Anything else you want to add? Anything maybe that your interaction with Dad, you would like to have a mulligan or a do-over?
I don't think so. I don't think anything I would do over. I value our relationship now. Like I said, I probably talk to him. Mom, I speak to every day. Dad, I probably speak to every other day. So I value that relationship that we have now. I could go to him for anything. And, I'm in awe, like when I see him interact with other people. Like you said, you discussed how different people will come to him for advice. And I didn't even realize it. Like, I'm like, well, Dad, why don't you share that with me? Tell me how should I invest? What should I do? So he amazes me. Just the different people. And these are, anybody, the everyday person. It could be a very successful person, someone just starting out. Like I think he knows how to surround himself with the right people. And he absorbs the information from those people. Now, so I know my kids, they hear those stories and they're like, well, why didn't the pop, share more with us? Do your kids feel that way? Yeah. So we gotta get him more involved with them. I'm trying to get Jada to write Mom and Dad's life story. She'd be great at it.
Yeah, so we got to get that in print, while they are still healthy and of their right mind and everything else, get all of that information so it can be shared with the grandkids now and then the great grands and the great great grands to come, because what they've done is truly amazing, working themselves up from nothing. And it's really been a team effort between Mom and Dad, and choosing a mate can determine your lot in life. You could be very successful, make a lot of money, and have a mate that spends a lot of money. Dad goes out, makes money, very successful. Mom finds a way to save and invest, and together they have grown to be extremely successful.
Exactly, and it takes both of them together.
Yeah.
But even just recently, he just shared the story of how he got started in HVAC and how he worked for someone, and he had to sell, I think it was duct cleanings or something, door to door. And he would get a commission on them. So, these stories I'm hearing, I'm in my 50s. So it's definitely interesting. And then, Mom, she went to school, she did accounting. So it's like they worked together and built together.
Which is really special, which is what you want in a marriage relationship. You want a team that works together towards the same goals and everything. All right. Well, listen, folks, we've chatted on and on about our father, and we could probably go on and on for another hour or so if you let us. He's a great dad, and appreciate everything that he's done for us, whether it's in a physical present, but his presence, being there, supportive, being protective, provider, appropriator, and a promise keeper. When he says he's going to do something,
he keeps his promise.
Now, birthdays were always like a target zone. It wasn't a day. Okay? If he said he was going to get you a bike for your birthday, and your birthday was the 10th, you might get it anywhere between the 1st and the 31st, okay? But you would get the bike.
That's for sure.
That is for sure. Listen, thank you all for listening to the Manhood Podcast. Hopefully it helps you be a better father, helps you understand your father, helps you understand the man in your life who may be a father to your child, helps you understand the relationship that you have with your father, how he thinks, how he operates. And hopefully, if he needs to be forgiven, forgive him. If you're a father that needs to forgive yourself for not living up to everything you would want to be in a father, forgive yourself. You can listen to us on YouTube, watch us on YouTube, download the podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeart, TuneIn, wherever you get your podcast from. Once again, thank you for listening. Have a great one. Thanks.